And we should be live, Tweaks. Might take us a couple seconds on your end.
Probably. Let me go refresh that baby.
But then you'll see both screens.
Nice.
You think I should change the name of the channel?
Why? Because it's super long.
It's extremely long. After I saw it in your chat box, I was like, this is...
Yeah, you posted, I'm like, oh my god.
It's excessive. So we gotta figure it out. But what's going on, Buddha Gang? I see some people in the chat. Hello, welcome to the pre-show. I have to disclose that, just so people don't think this is the official start. I want to make sure everything's good and up and going, just like Tweaks is awake and up and going. Thank you for being here.
Gosh.
In the middle of the day, I know you're usually catching Z's right now.
Very exciting. No, very exciting.
Very exciting. Listen, man, you traumatized me, that Saintly Melee podcast.
Oh my goodness gracious. I should have just done it to you again.
I want to put Buddha on the spot. Alright, should I do that?
Sure.
Get ready and get started. Sir Jinlisha, thank you for the comment. We're going to get started by saying, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha, back in the building for another Power Creep podcast. I'm feeling rusty, not making content as frequent, waiting every 2 weeks, but I'm here with my co-host. You know him, you love him. It's Tweaks.
What's up, fellas?
And
not doing it.
I know. I gave up. Okay? I gave up. We're back in the building. Yes. Buddha Gang. Hello, chat. Good morning. Well, technically, good afternoon. 2 minutes afternoon, specifically. Had to drop it today. Change the time on you guys. So thank you all for adjusting accordingly. And the VOD will be up for anyone who can't catch the live program at this time. But your boy Buddha has a very, very, very busy weekend schedule during the month of February. So podcasts may be a little weird moving forward. Hopefully not too much. But again, thank you to my co-host. Thank you to you guys for adjusting with me. And Tweaks, how have you been since the last Power Creep podcast?
Good, man. I was having fun with the collab. I mean, there wasn't much going on the second week of the collab, so the point grind was aggressive. I mean, by aggressive, I mean I think most people were done the first week, with the entire thing. And then the third week was time trial, so that kept me busy for a while. Kept others busy for a while, so it was a good time.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know when I will get back into the time trials, but I definitely was watching everyone else do it, which is always very interesting to see who's sitting at the top. Do you want to talk about that now, since it's technically it's done, or do you want to do our typical thing?
It's yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Well, congrats on number one.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was good. It was some good fun. Gilga and
Gilga was pushing.
Had some great times. Yeah, he was pushing. I didn't realize this. I was working on trying to get a better time regardless. And he was pushing last minute to get a better time. And I'm glad I even paid attention to do so. I mean, that I was already on the way of trying to get a better time, because he would have passed me last second if I had not been already on top of it. So kudos to him for getting a really, really good time, 131. I did manage to get a 127, and I put that video up on my channel.
Yeah, what a video,
yeah,
man.
Top 10. What would you say?
I said, what a video.
Yeah, things. There were some aggressive mechanics being handled there. Some stupid DPS by the collab units. I mean, this quest was totally tailor made for the collab units themselves. So, if you didn't have at least one of them, you probably. I mean, Bayonetta had her whole night package, or whole Slayer package, pretty much tailor made to where pretty much everything was Dark Week. She had some good damage, and then Jean was just an AoE monster. That's who I used, and then Theria Glass Record. So it was a pretty interesting run, and I think a lot of people use something similar. But yeah, top 10 was solid. Logan, Vagabond, Stu Dog, Jawline. Gotta give a shout out to my guild members on 7, 8, 9, and 10. On 3000, Belly, Vember, and Luke. Corono. I mean, the whole top 30 was just people did a great job. So, yeah, I had a good time with it. I'm glad that I was pushing towards the end, or else I would have been passed. But it was a good time. Yep.
Very cool.
But yeah, we can move on to the girl of the hour, Mia, if you'd like.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
you have her. I saw you testing her early this morning.
I did a little stream earlier. Yeah. So and I think I went over this a little preview of her kit. It's just that I think you and I would both agree. We both think that they're literally releasing her to sell her to people struggling with magic spam in arena. Would you disagree with that?
No, in fact, that's my exact analysis.
Yes. She has, and we'll get to the theme of this, she has incredible damage mitigation against magic, as well as cannot flinch versus magic. In PvE content, and even things like the hard stuff like Maze, there's really not that many places where enemy magic is going to be a problem, really. And even in most situations, like, you can just as easily apply a barrier from Theria and work through it. There is magic immunity and magic immunity to flinching has always been a very arena thing. Like we've seen with Ruto in the past, Grenadas, those are both very potent arena units. We've seen with Jean just now, who just came out, her witch time buffs and having immunity from flinching on magic. It screams absolutely screams arena. And now with the nerf of spell render and physical DPS getting a little bit downtrodden from what it was before, mages have come on a rise. And with that in mind, releasing this unit now kind of just tells us that they're watching maybe not necessarily watching the meta, but trying to create units that would sell in the current climate. Mia fits exactly that bill. Like we've seen like recently, the Amelias, the Majas, the Shift Elizas, the Sarahs with their Blizzard spam, like all the things that are actually very meta in mages in the arena at the moment. She counters very, very well. So do I love it? No, I don't. I am a person, and I know you guys know this, and I've always preferred PvE content and seeing their potential there and boss battles and what good are they in maze and in very specific places. And while I do think she's very, very unique, I don't necessarily know a place for her besides PvP. And like I mentioned before, we don't really have many places in PvE content that you're really going to need a unit that has massive damage mitigation and non-flinching to magic. Like, we literally do not have that. Now, is there a point in which in the future we might need a unit like this? Or, if you have her, you're going to be more successful in certain content because you have a unit that has non-flinching to magic and it actually does some good damage? Sure. But that moment is not now. Yeah, I don't know, just a little preface. And why don't we just get into her kit and explain exactly what I mean by that. So, at the heart, she is going to be a single-wield light physical attacker. She does have some interesting, she does have an AoE special, like probably you guys have seen in the release video, but she's mostly just a physical attacker. Woe from on high, Light of Mercy, Divine Standard, her S1, S2, S3. They're okay. Her S1, she jumps up and sends out a projectile. It reminds me of Tsukasa's S3. It's not obviously not as big AoE wise, but it's like a jumping projectile. 7 hits, single wield. Okay. Light of Mercy. This is a not gap closer, but I guess it does tell us it's a charge. Deal frontal, medium, area like combo attack. She will lunge in from a certain distance, and she will do a little melee attack. Her S3 Divine Standard though is going to be 20 hits. And this is her gap closer. This is definitely her best DPS skill of them all, and it's not bad. I don't have the exact numbers on it right now. It doesn't feel like it's going to be game breaking at all. It's just, it is for the current power group that we have. It is a solid skill. And you know what we have seen in the recent memory. You know, things like are crazy fast, like Gene S3. Things are like a ton of damage, like, you know, a Luke FOF buff proc S3. It's not on that level. But it is, you know, a very current.
It's among the current
damage,
meta.
Right. Divine Depths special. Powerful light combo attack to all enemies. This is AoE. This is 55 hits. She does get some. Oh, hello. She does give some. Buddha, you alright?
Yeah. Did you pick that up on your end?
Yeah. Oh, very much so.
My bad.
You're good. 55 hits. She does have some cat boost, but is she going to be a, you know, natural special attacker? No. Trait 1, Thunder at the speed of light. When only one weapon equipped as one sword, light damage plus 30%, damage capped at 15,000. Right there, obviously, single wielding sword. When using skills, activated Pillar of Light that deals powerful damage to target enemy. So, this is very similar, very reminiscent of OG Mia, who has like the lightning rod, or like the lightning bolt that comes down and hits an enemy afterwards, after whoever she's hit with her skills. And, you know, one single enemy. This is pretty much the exact same thing. It's 3 hits. It's 3 extra hits whenever you use a skill that come down and smack the enemy. It does not have great multipliers. I mean, it's gets boosted by all of her light damage. It is technically a physical attack, so it will get some boosted there. But if you remember Buddha, OG Mia had this like boosted damage effect. She used like a little bit of MP to boost that damage on the extra attack, like the lightning bolt coming down. Mia doesn't have that, so it's going to. I mean, I was capping it 70k plus against negative 50 res enemies, and she was doing like 30k, 40k a hit on her extra attack hits. Which, I mean, I'm sure you could min max and make it a little better. It just doesn't have the same damage multipliers as her skills. But it does happen every time you use a skill. So it doesn't cost MP. Will hit the enemy that you're targeting. Yeah, it's some extra damage. So essentially, if you are able to cap that damage, it's 3 extra hits on every single skill. And some of her skills are a little bit spammable, like her S1 can be spammed, or S3 can be spammed pretty well. That can add up to a lot more hits, which is cool. It also helps keep the combo up, I would say, because it is an extended part of the skill. And it's not really affecting her animations at all. It's very easy to build that combo for things like Combo Master and for, you know, for total party members that want to activate that kind of thing. Now this last part is a little bit interesting. I know a lot of people are like, why the heck does she have cat boost on Thunder? I feel like that's probably just reminiscent of OG Mia. She kept a little bit with her, you know, being, you know, it's hard not to spoil anything, but being resurrected into what she is right now, and her OG form being Thunder. I feel like that's just a little ode to the OG form. But yeah, 12,000 and we've seen this in the recent past with Jean and Ston and, you know, other units. When an enemy is weak to her attribute of choice, aka light, for her attacks, she gains 12,000 cap. And then if they're weak to thunder, she gains a little extra 3,000 just because of Odemia things. Not too complicated there. As for trait 2, Adornment of Sublime Power, this is where we start getting into her. Why is she so potent against magic? Battlestar give revive effect to unit, no time limit on effect. I do like this just because it's permanent res. I don't know why they had this in traits. They could have literally just added this into a passive unique. I mean, one constant res. Does that really need to be on a trait? I don't know. But won't flinch from magic attacks. That's big. And that's what we're talking about. No matter what she's getting hit with meteor rain spam, blizzard spam, lightning gauge, black hole, nether tempest, anything in arena, anything in PvE, she's not gonna flinch from it, which in certain situations can be very annoying. Magic spam and magic flinch spam is a very OP mechanic that we've seen in arena. It's been used pretty much since the start of it. So, does she counter that instantly? Yes. Have we had units in the past that also do that? Yes. It'll be interesting to see how she pans out. Now, I just want to give a little preface, and we're going to be talking about arena a little bit, because she seems like she's tailor-made for that. And I'm just not going to use her there. I don't want to use an unbuilt Mia, technically, for arena at the moment. I think she'll just it will not show well for her if I bring her in here at Awaken 1 and not fleshed out. So we're probably not going to do that, but over the course of the week, it probably will, and test her out. So we'll have to let you guys know about how potent she is there. But she does not flinch from any magic attacks, and a unit that we've seen come out recently who is very, very potent in arena, who doesn't flinch from magic attacks, on chance, with her witch time buffs, is Jean, and she's really useful because of that. So I could see her being pretty potent if built the right way. And then this last bit, when taking magic attacks, damage taken minus 50%, damage of next skill used plus 30%. So while she's getting hit with magic, she takes literal half damage. This is all like multiplicative. 50% damage reduction is massive for damage reduction overall. Multiplicatively stacking with pretty much everything else, it just chops it in half, which is pretty dope. And then she has this like revenge mechanic of, if she's hit with magic at all, her next skill use is going to do 30% more damage. So she doesn't have the most multipliers ever in her kit, but when she gets hit with magic, she becomes an angry little elf and just wants to smack someone upside the head. Yeah, let's get into her base stuff. So she does have an anima. Let's do this. Disenchantment anima. All enemies thunder/light resistance -10, magic dealt -30%. And again, sticking with that magic theme here. Sure, the -10 thunder and light resistance is something, and it will drop the enemy resist down from if they're neutral down to negative, and let her proc her damage boosts and all that good stuff. But I think the most important thing here is magic damage dealt -30%. Because it's an anima, because it applies on the enemy and decreasing the enemy's output, it's going to be another multiplicative stack on any enemy to do magic damage against you. Again, PvE, I don't know a place where this is going to be crazy, crazy effective. And this absolutely screams PvP. It's like, not only does she take an absurd amount less magical damage, but she then further adds an anima to help the entire team survive magic. That's a lot. Pretty good anima. Straight up PvP oriented. As for the passives, attack up, magic defense up max, fighting spirit 5, esoteric up 3. This is like, she has attack ups, yes, but her mind ups are very interesting here. And I know why they gave this to her. Obviously, An increase in mind helps with damage mitigation of magic. It's essentially like your defense stat works for physical attacks, your mind stat works for magical attacks against you. It'll take less damage. So that is obviously playing into her magical, damage mitigation. As well as it helps her offense, and we'll get there a little bit. Guard and Spell Guard makes a lot of sense why she has this innate, just further magic damage mitigation. Brute Slayer, cool. She does get a Slayer with six Slayer typings. Human Shield. I mean, this stuff is not necessarily made for Arena, but there are ways to get, other Slayers onto her. Of course, you can equip stuff onto her. Human Shield, minus 20% damage from humans. Screams Arena. Auto Regen, Auto Haste, cool. Awaken 2, obviously this is a very potent passive for almost all content. Very good for survivability. Light High Drive, Light Attack Raise. I did notice in her release, and talking with people, where's her damage multipliers in this section? Like, I know we've had units in the past be like, oh, okay, well, they only have Mega Drive, they only have High Drive, they only have like Attack Raise 3. I guess they could have used more. She only has High Drive and Light Attack Raise 1. Like, I'm not sure what they were thinking here, really. Like, no Mega Drive, not even Attack Raise 2 or 3, no Light Drive. I just expected a lot more out of this section. And while that may not be the most important thing because of her innate multipliers with how she scales with damage, it would have been nice to have. Goddess Kiss innate, always good, especially if you want to use her for, SCT battery stuff, or just generally refill her SCT because she is, or MP because of Sharp Eyes. Sky High 1 and 3. Notably, she's missing Sky High 2 here, but since her skills generally prop, especially her S2 and S3 proc, or prop people up into the air if they're flinchable. This is some good damage multipliers. Now, the thing with Sky High is that in harder content, in boss content, generally bosses aren't poppable into the air. So this is essentially useless for a lot of situations, especially the harder situations in the game. Now, if you get hard boss content that is flinchable and pop up there, yeah, it's good multipliers. But I don't know.
You know what?
Putting this much preference into it.
You know what? Enemies are poppable in the air.
Well, Arena for sure. You will notice a spike in damage when things are popped in the air, 100%. And that's again tailoring into why exactly she feels like Arena. Straight up, they're selling her for Arena. Now we get to some juicy stuff in her kit. This is very funny that they added this to her. I don't know why. It doesn't feel like it fits with her kit, but they just did it anyways. Thaumaturgy Ring Plus greatly boosts physical attack damage based on intelligence. Basically what it does is it adds 30% of your intelligence into the strength conversion for her skills. So if she's sitting at 2,000, I mean, I don't need to get into the math of it. It is a nice boost to her physical damage. And she doesn't need that much strength to pump out the same amount of damage as she would before. Adding into that, Serenity boosts physical attack based on mind. This is another 20% additive for her mind, adding into the calculation of her physical attacks. So both of these things add in. Not only does her strength scale with her skills scale with strength, but int and mind both play a factor now. So this helps her do damage way easier, and I think that's probably why they didn't add as many multipliers into her kit as they could have. And because mind is one of the stats she probably should be built for, she has those big passives, it's going to work pretty well for her, boosting that damage. And Serenity does have innate defense piercing, so 15%. She'll ignore 15% of the enemy's defense to do her damage. Screams Arena. Magical damage healing too. Of course, why not? Why not give her massive damage mitigation on magic and then give her some healing back for free? Swordman's Mindset too. Sword and Strength, or Sword Strength and Defense, closed defense in mind. Why not give that to her? She likes sword. She likes clothes. Favorite sword. Now, what you're going to be seeing here is, yes, she has favorite sword. Awesome. It's good passive. But she's missing quite a bit of normal single-wielding cat boost like we've seen on other units. Doppelhander, we're missing. We're missing Doppelhander boost. We're missing Doppelhander boost 2. We're missing Doppelhander boost 3. She doesn't have any of that. So her base caps, her innate caps without conditional stuff is not that high as a single wielder. You'll have to boost it quite a bit in order to get her to the standards that we have nowadays. So I'm surprised that they didn't give us more. As for Sword Boost, Sword Mega Boost, she's missing Sword High Boost over here, of course. Close Mega Boost, she's missing Close High Boost, Close Boost. Armor HP Plus, sure, cool. Again, I think we talk about this every time nowadays. But she just has to have something in the armor slot for this to be active. Her clothes work just fine. If you want a couple robe on her or an actual plate armor, it'll also do the same. It'll activate this. So as long as she's not dual wielding, you should be good. Ultimate Boost 3. Cool. I mean, this is on a collab arc, so from the Attack on Titan, so I don't mind her having this for free. Sharp Eyes, I like seeing for free just because that's a big damage boost on its skills for just the cost a little bit of MP. Prefect of God, anti-type damage cap plus 3,000 to non-god type enemies, taking attacks with anti-god type effect, damage minus 40%. So if she has the correct Slayer on, if she has the correct anti-damage, correct Slayer, Buster, whatever, she will get another 3,000 damage cap as long as they're not God. God typing. Or as long as you're not hitting the anti-typing for God damage, really. But when taking attacks with anti-God type effect, damage minus 40%. So she is a God innately. If someone is attacking her with Slayer damage, essentially for anti-God, she'll take 40% less damage, which isn't bad at all. It almost fully negates the Slayer damage. Slayer plus special boost is going to be essentially plus 100% damage or double damage. So cutting that by 40% almost takes the whole thing away. Like, she doesn't have Slayer immunity, but this is pretty darn good for, taking that damage away. Nimbus Blade, when only one weapon is equipped, light damage plus 30%, damage cap plus 5,000. Obviously, this fits directly into her kit. Piercing light physical damage to guarding enemies, 75 plus 70%, special damage plus 30%. So against guarding enemies, she does more damage. Makes sense. It feels like she's built for Arena, where you'd be having tanks and all that good stuff. And then Gouter Block, continuous magic barrier, and Metis effect. So, more mind for Matisse. Magic barrier decreasing, magic damage against her by 20%. Cool. So she has quite a bit. She wants to build her mind. She has all these pretty disgusting damage mitigation for magic. She can't flinch for magic. And where is that useful in PvE, Buddha? Where? I genuinely don't know. I'm excited to see when people come up with. Mm-hmm. And I know a couple stages in Maze where I could use her. But outside of that, the general applicability of a unit with magic defense or non-flinching for magic has never really been prevalent, right? She absolutely screams Arena, and why don't we can go over Pades, but she screams Arena to me. You got anything to add, Boots?
No. I know there was a comment in your live stream, someone speculating that maybe her kit was a projection of what's to come, like content that might be more magic heavy, but just based on history with what Adis does and how they have behaved for a very long time, and on top of, I'm going to bring up that article, that JP article that I reviewed a long time ago. When they switched directors, there was a statement made that there was going to be more emphasis on Arena. So I
100%, yeah.
Don't think that like her kit being like this is indicative of anything that's to come PvE wise. I think it's pretty obvious as you just laid out everything.
Yeah, it screams they're trying to sell this for people who are annoyed with magic spam in Arena. let's go over Paids. Prefect's Mob Brand, continuous brave effect when only one weapon is equipped. Light attack damage plus 50%, damage cap plus 3,000. This could not be more of a cookie cutter paid equipment. I mean, like, continuous brave, light attack damage, cap. The correct attribute, strength and intelligence, sure. Yeah, I don't see... It's literally just straight cookie cutter. With the interesting one, though, and I feel like the one that's probably has way more value to me, the Prefix Pure Algown. 500 HP, 142 defense, 258 mind. This is a close. And it has magic attack damage taken minus 20% flat. This is a multiplicative damage mitigation, so it's going to stack with all of her other innate stuff. She also gets 10% of her strength added into mind, which further helps her damage mitigation on magic, helps her healing, proud force and stuff, which you'll need to add to her because she doesn't have. Won't faint from enemy attacks, so they're literally just giving you an anti-faint thing, which is very useful for places like Arena, even places in PvE where you're going to be getting attacked quite a bit. I mean, if any of you have used Emthera in your party, if anybody have used the Gene, the Bayonetta in longer battles and gotten attacked a lot, you notice that things don't faint ever. And fainting is very annoying, and it can be gotten out of pretty quickly if you know how to, but just having that ability to not even faint is just nice. Out of these two, her clothes are definitely the more potent of the two. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with that just because it's quite unique and it tailors directly into what she wants. But her sword is obviously for damage. Yeah, I don't know. They look cool though. I'll give them that. They always do a great job with the art on Paids. It's just how necessary are they? I don't think they're that necessary for her. Yeah, cool. Obviously, being a light sword physical attacker, that's like one of the main tropes that we've seen for this game for like forever. So if you are unsure how to build a light physical attacker with all of the massive amount of light sword options and armor, clothes, and all the passives like we've seen with Roland, with Adel, both Rolands, with Violet, with literally a ton of light attackers. It's all the same stuff. Like seriously, it really is all the same stuff. Yeah. You want to go see her stuff? Her skills?
I definitely
how she looks in game?
Do right after an ad break. Are those getting corny yet?
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Let me know when we're done with the ad.
Kind of the brand. I have no idea. It doesn't give me anything. Like Twitch is nice because it'll tell you when it inserts an ad, how long the ad goes. But in YouTube, it's just like, now's a good time. So I click it, and then I just let it happen.
Yeah.
So no, you can get her set up, and we can jump into it. Yeah. Anyone with premium, I know, doesn't get hit with ads.
Nice.
But
nice, skirting by. I like it.
Yeah. So she definitely has cool looking animations, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, she does. I'll give her that. 100%. Okay, this is fine. She's just missing so much in her kit. It's like,
yeah.
I go through and I'm like, hey, you have such high mind, and I want to sustain with you, but I don't have any crit. I don't have proud force at all. Like legitimately, the fact that she doesn't have, okay, she comes with 0 crit additive. Yeah, I think I'm correct in saying that. So critical up 2 is something that I added. Proud force, I added doppelganger, which would be the one that gives her some crit rate. Nothing. She has absolutely 0 crit. She's sitting with base 3 to 5%, and then without proud force, with a unit with such high mind, it would have made sense for her to be able to heal from that, or at least get some healing via crits and all that good stuff. So adding proud force, crit up 2, and fast crit are pretty much going to be very standard on her. as well as if you do have Doppelganger, that's a nice little crit boost. So her healing will do something, or her sustain will be doing something. But yeah. Why don't we go and check out her skills?
Yeah, I'm curious. I didn't really pay attention, but to see her Proud Force heals with how she is built innately.
Mm-hmm. You'll see. I mean, they're not like I mean, they're very good. Let's be honest.
I mean, Bayland is like the pinnacle to me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 700 without like really pushing into it. That's with Matisse. That's with her base mind. You could use Dusk. You could use other things. That's not bad at all. So why don't we look at her S1? This is what I was talking about. She jumps up. Pew! Now, you'll see that they're getting hit by extra stuff. That's the Pillar of Light coming down and flinching them. I kind of really like that just for flinching enemies, right? Like, I hit them with this, but then they stay a little bit flinched for longer. It's not just for the length of the skill, which lets you continue to spam your skills in that situation without having, an interruption in between them.
Yeah, it's neat.
It is cool. For flinchable PvE content, yeah, absolutely, it's great. Let's go back in with her. I mean, I could show her regular attack. It's nothing special. Why don't we do this? 3 hits. 4 hits, sorry. 4 hits.
Oh yeah, that's super basic.
Nothing crazy. Let's do her S2. Oh, no. Cool. Yep, those 3 extra hits. If you guys are noticing... Hey, what's up, guys?
They're on you.
They're on me. Like, dude, what the... Those 3 extra hits from... Okay, I'm just going to kill, unfortunately. They're not doing nearly... So I'm capping at like 70k. 72k, and I'm hitting for, let's see the pillar, 30k extra hits, which is cool. It's still extra damage. It's just, I wish it scaled better. That's all. I wish it scaled better. Why don't we look at her special? I'm not going to be doing nearly enough damage, but whatever.
Tried to say it in chat, but shout out to PB&J for the Venmo dono. Appreciate you, big dog.
All right, wait, I didn't mean to do that one.
Nice. I don't know why YouTube chat's weird. When I put an emoji at the end of what I type, it then just replaces the whole thing with the emoji. So.
And you need to get better.
Fun fact.
This is like a boomer type of thing.
Oh, really?
Be better at it. Divine Depths. Cool. I mean, one of the cooler animations I've seen in a while.
Who doesn't love a giant falling sword? Very Elden Ring-like.
Yeah.
I need to get back into that game. Have you seen the updated PvP in there?
No.
It's pretty wild.
Is it? That's cool.
But we're talking about
so yeah, her special's cool, her skills are cool. And you know for a fact that if she had substantial or even a special kind of DPS, that I'd be showing that off right now. But it's just current. That's all. There's nothing crazy. There's nothing bad about it by any means. So don't take my lack of hype as something that's bad. It's just nothing crazy special. Like, how I go typing with Jean and Bayonetta. And their S3s are absolutely cracked. Her S3 is good. It's just not cracked, right? And the fact that I need to add just an absolute ton of damage multipliers, not ton of damage multipliers, but a ton of damage caps for her, just feels a little bad. Like, this is 18 SC right here just to get 8k cap. Come on, she could have came to that at an 8.
That's pricey.
It's pricey, man.
That's pricey.
Yeah, as soon as you just like start adding like the main stuff to her kit, it's just like, well, now I don't have enough space for everything else. I mean, and I have her at 96 SE already. Just because I had to get some extra prisms from the paids because I was chasing her a little bit, and then the event one. So I don't know, man. I think she'll thrive in places where magic is prevalent. And one place that is this is so stupid.
I was gonna
And
bring
you
it up.
showed me. Yeah. The fact that they're literally using this high difficulty challenge, and if you guys have played this already, and I was told this by the boys in chat, this is like silly. They gave a stage that does a lot of flinching magic, and guess who is gonna look absolutely fantastic there?
Mm-hmm.
A unit that doesn't flinch at all for magic, and that's gonna be Mia.
Yeah, it's ridiculous what they did here.
So let's wait till he gets over here. Oh my god, diamond dust. Oh no, whatever will I do? Like, can't flinch from it. They're weak to light. They're god enemies. And I'm not doing great damage here. I wish I had a Slayer on, but whatever. Oh my god, there's diamond dust going off. Whatever, what did I do? Yeah, it's just...
Uh-oh. Too much. Too much for my screen to handle. Just froze a little bit there.
Ah, fair enough.
But yeah, I basically, for me, who does not have Prefect of God Mia, I basically had to bring a Tyria and then use Thunderwall to achieve a similar level of magic damage output to my team. Otherwise, the first time I ran in with just a whatever team, and yeah, that magic does a good amount of damage. So they artificially manufactured a stage just to emphasize her. Which
is like, please don't be fooled by this. This kind of stage does not happen often.
No. But we now know that what it looks like if we ever were to get a stage like that.
Yeah, she does great.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, in so many situations at least I have been, I know a lot of the veteran community have just had the already inclination that just bring Emtheria and a barrier on yourself.
That's all you need.
If there's strong magic damage. And again, that's always been the answer, just bring Emtheria. Like,
literally.
There's a reason why she's so highly rated for this type of thing, for almost everything that she's useful for.
She's still number one in the tier list, no?
Yeah, she deserves it. She still deserves it. Dude,
2 years later.
Did you see she was part of the time trial team that, honestly, most people used?
Yeah.
Her. With, of course, a limited spell, Keen Hourglass Record, but straight up, she's part of it. Super useful unit. But Mia, they decided to, of course, artificially inflate the usefulness of her just because of this high difficulty stage. In PvE, I really don't see much options there. Here's the thing. Arena. Is she going to be useful? I feel like she is absolutely going to be. We'll get some more points. Nice. I feel like she absolutely is going to be useful here. For a lot of people, especially when climbing ranks. At the top, probably she's going to be useful. It's just that I don't care about it at the moment. I think I'll probably let most other people test her out and see what, kind of take the back seat to it and see just what works and see how people use her, if they even use her at all. But yeah, as you're climbing, she should be pretty useful, especially with the magic spam, the blizzard spam, meteor rain, lightning gauge, the most common stuff she's not going to be inhibited by. But, yeah.
Wow, Tweaks, you're so off meta with that Saintly Tyria.
Off meta?
Yeah.
Oh. Was that off meta? I thought that was meta. Anyways, we don't talk about that because...
Don't give out the sauce. Come on.
Alright, anyways. We have an arc to go over. I think Prefect of God Mia, or Pog Mia, I think it's hilarious that her name is Pogmia, by the way, because I know for a fact that the LC community or the main Discord made an emote for that, which it looks pretty funny. The poggers
Face.
emote
Yeah.
stuff.
It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, pretty good. But yeah, I think she has a place in future content, and Buddha, as much as I don't want to say she, I think we both know she's tailor made for Arena at the moment, and the presence of magic spam, and kind of hitting on all those notes for a lot of people that are struggle with it. But yes, in future content, she may be useful. I just don't see the damage output that we've seen with other units. Like, I just want to bring up an example. Adel. He is a very good unit. He does some good DPS. He also can be tailor-made to not flinch from certain attributes at one time, which is very useful for magic spam if you know what you're going to be fighting. So he's essentially, at that point, they're essentially very similar. Let's say he is defending against light or dark magic if he's built for light. Then it comes down to how does their DPS compare? Adele has definitely a higher DPS, without a doubt, more than Mia. And so it's like, even though in her best niche, there are some units that can or maybe do it better than her. And again, we probably need to wait for future content for even fleshing her out for Arena itself to make a final conclusion on her. But at this point, there is no must pull for her. There is no I would never advise to spend gems on her right now. I mean, her banner is literally 4 weeks long. Will have stuff coming out while her banner's still going. Buddha, we fully expect another collab. The past 2 years we've had collab run very soon after a collab in the end of January, February, beginning of March. So if you guys are even questioning whether to pull her or not, if you want to play based on meta, play based on getting things in your account that are going to be useful for a long time, I would wait on her. Yeah, Joe, if people want to simp for her and like the way she looks, she does have some cool ass art. I'll give her that. But if you're playing for favorites, do whatever you want. If you're playing for usefulness overall in the meta, the gameplay, the PvE, the PvP, I don't know where she fits right now, and I wouldn't suggest just running out and grabbing her. She's not gonna alter the gameplay completely. Yeah, she's good. She's just has a very powerful niche. It's just a niche that we don't need very often.
I agree.
Boots.
Should we talk about the cooler of the two, in my opinion?
The Ark. Dude, this art.
Come on.
Dude. They do. Listen, as much as people, not everyone, but some people do upload crap on Adis for, all of their other things that go on in the game, the monetization, all this kind of stuff. People can always have their voice their opinions on. The art has never been a place where it's like anyone can complain. Dude, this is so sick of an art. I'm sorry. Little Shiv Zyke sitting here, all the swords in the ground. Mia Lumiere just overlooking, peering over, daunting. This is sick. Really, really cool. They always smash the art out of the world, or out of this world. Yeah. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Arch being Mia Lumiere, though, the UR that comes on Mia's banner. What is it good for? Well, it's clearly playing directly into Mia, the new Mia, Prefect of God Mia. I mean, all attribute magic damage, magic attack damage taken minus 20%. Sure, full more magic damage mitigation. For sword users, it does give anti-human type effect on her skills. Now, where is this useful? Arena. giving human type Slayer effect, which is essentially sniper, knight, soldier, sorcerer, slayer, all in one passive on skills for single wielding sword users is very useful. Now, people like Mia, people like Adel, very specifically, and Jean, and other single wielding sword users, this will be useful if they don't already have the human slayers innate, right? People like Vayne already have human buster or human slayer, so he doesn't need this at all. But for units that generally fight other humans quite a bit, yeah, it's going to be pretty darn good. Damage kept to enemies weak to thunder light, plus 2,000. If weak to both, damage cap plus 4,000. What I find funny here is that it's not tailor-made to light or thunder damage specifically. Like, you don't have to do, you could be doing dark damage, but as long as the enemy is weak to light and or thunder, you'll get 2,000 cap boost for each. So, even if you were neutral damage, like non-attribute damage, if you're hitting them with Shift Bayland and they're weak to thunder and light, you'll get that 4,000 cap boost, which is, I just find that amusing. It's not linked to the actual damage type, it's linked to the enemy's resist. Learnables, though, this is some spicy stuff in here. Now, the first four, maybe not so much. Light Drive, cool to have. Armor HP plus, this is some nice HP boost for 3 SC if you have anything, if you're a single wielder, if you have anything in the armor slot. Spell Guard, cool. We've seen that on other permanent SSRs. Magic damage healing 3. I'm not crazy about this, but it is 40%. I believe it's a 25% chance or 10% chance for 40% to recover that HP. And these are like independent. So like this is a much stronger skill than magic damage healing 1 or 2. But I never really equip these, and maybe that's on me. Maybe I should utilize them more, but I just don't. Now, where we get to the spicy stuff, Holy Ensemble and Light Weak Point Breakthrough 2 are some new stuff that we have not seen. Holy Ensemble, 7 SC for a potential 30% damage boost is quite a bit. So it says, if at least 2 allies have the skill Holy Ensemble set, boost light attack damage. 2 allies have it equipped, 10%, 3 allies have it equipped, 20%, and if all 4 allies have it equipped, 30% damage. 30% light attack damage, that is all light attack damage, that's physicals, that's special, that's magical, that's arc skill, it's whatever you want, any light attack damage is boosted by 30%. Now, what it does not say is like we've seen with Graffle, where it has to be like all Earth skillers get a boosted cap for charisma. No. You could have literally just Mia, Prefect of God Mia, and like 3 random ass units. If you have Holy Ensemble activated on all of them, she's going to get 30% flat boosted damage, or multiplicative damage, really. For 7 SC, that is quite a bit. And it's even more so if you have multiple light attackers in the party that are not wasting that SC, that it can actually get that boost as well. It becomes quite a potent, if not one of the most potent SC to damage ratios in the game. Now, yes, you're going to need fellow units to make this work. Like, this does not work in a solo scenario, but it can work. So, I mean, it's kind of dope. And it's definitely one of the main things of why this arc is actually pretty good. And I hope we see more of this ensemble stuff in the future. It feels like it's a very generic icon. It feels like they absolutely can make this into more passes for other attributes. So I'm excited to see where we go from here. This is a good start. But like Weak Point Breakthrough 2, SC8. Cool. Attacking enemies with single wielding or dual wielding, you get more cap. I don't mind this. I think this, again, is a generic icon. They will definitely be making more of these in the future. And of course, this stuff is on a UR, so they should have some powerful passives on it. And I think these satisfy that category, in my opinion. What do you think, Boots? How do you like these?
I wish that last name was a different translation, but
why?
It's just awkward to me.
Light WP Breakthrough 2.
Yeah. But well, aside from that, I was being
It's
facetious. I was being
weak.
facetious.
It's just weak.
They are very interesting. I still think that breakthrough skill's more of a luxury.
Oh, 100%. At the end of the day, if you're already capping, you have the ability to make more cap. Like, it's not a damage boost at all. It's just cap.
Yeah, I've come to appreciate a lot more damage modifiers than actual like cap raisers like this with these monstrous single wield caps we have nowadays. But Holy Ensemble, yeah, I like the thought of that. Again, kind of falls onto that where just damage modification is the real prize, and yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to be on a UR. I agree with the way they've been taking arcs.
Yeah, and we'll see. Just the more so, even if you don't want this stuff, if you don't want the arc itself, again, if you're not willing to run, just spend for it, I should never chase a UR. You can always get this later in maybe a random ticket, maybe even a UR selector down the line. So,
yeah, I mean this arc still, even just looking at teachables, does not hold a candle to like our top 3 that I think we have in mind.
Yeah, but what I think it's cool is that it's a base for the future, right? Like we have these skills that might happen for other attributes. So,
yeah,
cool. We're cool. As for the arc skill, now it's a damage arc skill. Even at level 10, it does a 30% damage buff to allies for light. It gives at max a plus 30% buff to units and all god type enemies or god type allies. Cool. This is definitely not where I would dump my UR dust if I would ever get it. This is just not a necessary place to max out. At level 1, it's fine. It's just not a game-breaking mechanic. It's not a huge, massive alteration to how you're going to play the game. So, as for arc skills go, it's definitely not up there. Useful, sure, just not crazy. As for the arc ether reward, Holy Right Edge Limitus, strength 291, mind 70, light attribute sword. This is our first arc ether reward that has cap on it, if I'm not mistaken. Now it does require you to be using light attack damage and against weak light resist, but it has a nice damage boost and some damage cap. So this can be used for things like alts, can be used even for magic, really, if you felt like it, some more cap. But mostly used for sword users, for physical attackers, fighting against light weak enemies. You get an extra little boost. So definitely useful on a lot of dual wielders. You can take advantage of this. Definitely useful on maybe units that like Mia, like Adel, like other single wielding sword users who want some to fight against weak content. It gets some extra damage cap at the meantime.
Yeah, I want to throw that on Luke.
Yeah, that's another good point. Luke, dual wielding Luke with some massive light damage. Pretty cool. I didn't collect these. I'll not do that now. But I think the most drawing point is his art. It's pretty dope. Again, not chaseable, but definitely has some good stuff on it if you do happen to snag it.
I think the best thing about it is the art.
I agree with you.
Sure.
The event itself, we have this weird ass conquering thing. I don't.
You were not
find this
a fan of that,
dude. Here's the thing. I have been spoiled. Of course, I love the fact that we have limit breaker stuff in here. I've just been spoiled by the fact that the events have been so OP. Now, is this useful for a lot of players? Absolutely. I just want more stuff. I want Mother Souls. I want Rainbow Potions. I want all the things. Of course, 5 of these tier 9 stuff. Without the presence of Sun Vessel Island right now, getting these kinds of materials early on is very nice. So make sure you're doing your honor points. Of course, you'd be doing the Super Boss Quest. You'd be doing these things to get tickets. And then grabbing the Super Boss Quest to do the hardest difficulty you can. I think this final stage with Stealing gives you 14 tickets. Or not sure, but this final stage. These give you 14 if you do them in steel. And then you cost 20 each. So these essentially give you about 800. The final one gives you about 800 honor points on completion. And so you should be able to complete that pretty quickly. 4,200, about 5 or 6 times to do it in the totality of the day. You should be able to do that pretty easily per day. The bonus challenge gives you, I believe, extra tickets as well. I think it gives you like 20 tickets or so, and then some alchemy stuff. The alchemy stuff you're going to be able to have to grind again. I hate doing that just because I've just been very lazy lately of grinding these events and stuff out. Getting these alchem stones, getting these event medals to make stuff happen. This is obviously going to give you, so the alchemy sword fighter's nature is going to give you more of these. And if you wanted to farm the metal traveler's nature, it's going to give you more event medals, just relative to each other. And those are the 2 grindable stages. And you'll have to be doing those in order to get things in the alchemy lab to upgrade them. Now, we do have some interesting stuff here, preference for or preparation for the future. Zelbius Blade is something that we've been asking to get Godforged for a while, so the fact that they're finally adding it to just even get upgraded at its base version to +40, add some strength to it, is a start. And I hope we get Godforged form eventually. But this is essentially just all the event equipment from the current event, from the Mia event. Mia's Paids are going to get, the OG Mia's Paids can get a little bit extra stats and stuff. It's nothing crazy, but can get some stuff there. It's going to take a lot of alchemigites or whatever, these alchem stones or whatever they're called. So they actually have a place where you can buy a ton of them if you don't feel like grinding as much. The blue alchem stones, 500 here, 300 here for the blue alchem ores. You can buy them out. But the event trading space is pretty nice. Radiance of the World, or, the 3 radiances, 1 of each, you can snag. It also has an OK. It also has an OK event sword. I find this hilarious that it's light physical attack damage plus 2% and then 100 only cap.
The ward sword.
Huh?
It's the ward sword.
The ward sword. That's funny. Yeah, 100 damage cap is essentially equal to a ward, which is hilarious. But yeah, like most of our events, it has a lot of stuff in it. Theorem, Mother Souls, skill books, magic tomes, mega clusters, all the clusters and crystals and crystallites you would ever need. At least for like 1 unit or so. And then it has some extra stuff. So we have, this stuff is from the old event, the original OG Mia event. You can snag this stuff, these equipment, and then, it has a Mia Prism in here, the new Mia, and 2 God Relic Prism shards to grab some more stuff there. So, an okay event. I feel like I'm going to get very bored with this very quickly. I've been extremely lazy in doing even my dailies for the collab, and even doing that, it still absolutely demolished the point total that was needed. So, I don't know. I don't love these kill requirement events, these honor point events, but the resources are useful for a lot of people. I can't blame them for that. I don't know.
It's always tailored for the new players.
Yeah. It makes sense. Tower of Trials is back. So if you're going to do that, I think floor 79, the gems stop. So if you want to go past that and you want to go to level 100 or floor 100 to get that U Ark, go ahead and do that. Get some dupes of it if you feel like it, but at least get to floor 79 so you get all 2100 gems. Yeah. Boots, I ain't got any much more, bro.
There's not much else to report on. They did change the name of the LC pass to the standard LC pass, so get prepared for more tiers of that, I think.
That is something for sure. The name change is definitely an inclination that there's going to be different forms. And that's what people have been asking for, really. People have been asking for forever, like, hey, when are we going to get gems on passes? I feel like that's probably coming soon. Like the premium gem pass or something like that, So it'll be cool to see what comes out.
Other than that, yeah, there wasn't much. I was a little sad. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe some more QOL, maybe some more. That's just one of my gripes. Is I wish they would just take more time to fix translations and descriptions of things. I'd like to see just a group. There are so many I feel that we could compile that there's enough, even if they don't have the manpower to knock out all of it, at least some of it every update would be nice to see.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That makes sense.
But we didn't get much of that. Just here's an arena unit and get ready for more passes. So
yeah, pretty much. And we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. I mean, there's nothing happening in the event now. I mean, all right. So all the stuff that's going on now, we do have the Valentine's Day stuff, the Chocolate Hunters things. Like the main thing you need to snag from this event is the arcs. Do not miss the Valentine's Day arcs. None of them. Get all of them, because what? Go ahead, Boots.
Well, were you done with you were still talking. Finish your thought.
No, I mean, like, just make sure you're doing the Valentine's Day stuff. Grab all the arcs. Get some stuff there, because the Maiden's Banquet arc is one of the best arcs in the game for healers.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good passes on the Granzelian Rock. Like, I hope no one misses that stuff. But yeah.
What I was going to say is, since no one, at least from I saw, really talked about it, and even though it's a little past the prime time to talk about it, we got the Valentine's Selector banner.
Sure.
So there is a roster, right? That is one of the things that I think you, myself, many of the vets encourage budget free-to-play players. These are what you save your crystals for, because it's 30,000 guaranteed pity, right? Which is more than half off of the regular pity amount. So I think a lot of people, especially new players, want to know who they should have selected if they, unfortunately did already.
Yep. Here's my thing. Spearman theory. So the thing about this banner is, the thing about this whole grouping, if you rerolled or even have a unit that's in the past 6 months that's a relevant DPS, you can pretty much skip this entire banner. I would say Spearman theory, if you don't have her, she's worth 30k. She's still worth 30k. She's been out 2 years. If you don't have her, beautiful unit. Awesome unit. And then if you have a relevant DPS, you don't need any of these units. Now, the ones of note that are useful, okay, say them a little bit, cool, useful, Regular Fire, Eliza, useful, Sarah, useful. Are they worth 30k, though, in this climate? I don't know about that. You'd have to make that decision yourself. Emtheria, to me, is the only one that's worth 30k in this. So, I think that's of note. And, of course, we will be having White Day in a month, which is the male version of this banner. We don't know who will be on it, but likely there are units like Lennius, Shift Bayland, which, I mean, of course, if you need him now, I don't know about it. Maybe Adel, maybe Vayne will be on it. So, like, you're looking at some pretty OP units for 30k. On this banner, it's basically Emtheria or bust. That's what I have to say about it. And then save.
I agree.
Good deal. I'm glad you glad we covered that. Yeah. Most new players should have rerolled for a good physical DPS anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, if I were a new player, even though there are, like you said, useful units like Saintly Lilibet, Sarah on that as well.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, there's a very, very likely slot for a collab coming up. And personally...
Collab coming up, Annie coming up.
Oh, yeah,
like
Annie's in
White
April.
Day coming up.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff coming.
Yeah.
That if you wanted to save your 30k, that's fine.
Yeah. Unless you're going to just, play the game for maybe 2 more weeks and then drop it forever, and you just want to use what you can currently. That's about the only situation I can say.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's that. Did you get any Valentine's letters from your lovelies?
I did. I got Foul and I got Leona.
Nice, nice.
Um, they were okay. I
Yeah,
just wanted to see what they were doing. I think the coolest ones that I saw were the DeGrove one and the DD.
yeah, they were very funny.
They were like literally just trying to murder things.
Yeah, masochists. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
pretty funny.
Yeah, mine are going to the grave. I'm not using them.
What? You're gonna be that guy who's like, yeah, I have these on my account. I never used them as a
Yeah,
trophy.
basic. Not even as a trophy, just to express my pure
Pure Brahmanda.
lack of care for something like this.
Yeah,
Some
it
people,
was.
some people love it, and I'm not knocking that. Um, this is not what I want them to spend their freaking man hours on, personally. But again, just as a critic of the game, self-appointed
fair
critic, you know, that's a lot of words they typed out for these letters that could have been typed into correct descriptions for things. But I'm beating a dead horse with that one. I just, yeah. I think that's all I got, tweakers. It's another
Yeah.
little shorty podcast.
That's it for me, dude. That's it for me.
Thank you for doing what you do and breaking them down for us. I would have been a lost puppy if you could make this one work. So.
Oh my god, I was gonna make it. Why you gotta bring that up? Unbelievable.
I bring it up to say I'm grateful because I know it's annoying. But hopefully we'll get back on track in about 2 weeks. Yeah. So this is that. When did we get the collab last year relative to March?
It was literally the Attack on Titan collab.
Oh, so that collab.
Inventive Queen Merity, and then the slime rerun.
So we could very
So if
much
it-
be talking about a collab
In 2 weeks.
in the next podcast.
Easily.
All right.
Easily.
Well, that'll be interesting.
Like,
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
mean, maybe give us a little break, but like, it's
No, they know you guys have no limit to your pockets. The LC spenders.
it's not even that heavy pocket though, bro.
That's true. It's relative to the other gotchas. It's still quite crazy to me. I'm enjoying my time as a free-to-play. Well, and sponsored very generously by the Buddha Gang.
Yes, very nice.
Very, very generous. You people
I'll have
are.
to see what comes in 2 weeks. I'm excited to see what's next.
Oh, yeah.
I was pretty hyped, dude. I was pretty hyped for Prefect of God Mia to come out, but now that she's out, it's just like,
She didn't meet
I
the
don't know.
mark.
I wanted her to be OPOP, and maybe in her own niche she is, but I'm a big damage simp, as you know. So,
Yes. Or at least some kind of super unique gimmick.
yeah.
Magic
Yeah.
damage mitigation just doesn't carry that same weight as like a Gene team damage overall mitigation.
Pretty dope unit she is for Jean.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was
All
a
right.
nice luck sack. But I think that's all we got for you. Are you looking forward to any type of collab, new or rerun in your mind?
I have no, I'm not.
You're just open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want some new, some cool stuff. That's all.
On that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming listening to us live. Thank you to the homie Tweaks for breaking the game down in the way that he does. And look forward to the next episode of the Power Creep podcast. Thank you guys so much for the support as always. If you want to keep the podcast alive and strong moving forward, you guys already know, hit that join button to become a Buddha fam member. $1.99 per month. That's it. Just a little chump change. Keep me off the streets. And y'all know what we say. Work hard, play harder. See you in the next one.